Orgio subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 42 months. And says, does anyone remember the question?
End of line.
Blaze subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 39 months. And says yay.
End of line.
I'm over here cracking up at the way Deck Talk just said, yay.
Subscribed for 26 months. And says, I'm only here to say, bro, we got new 9-inch nails.
Oh,
yeah. Dude, anyone else excited about the 9-inch Nails music video coming out later this year?
A total of 180 in the channel.
End of line.
I'm thinking it might have a hope of living up to the Daft Punk music video. No audio. There's audio,
End of line.
I think.
Vitokanev says CHEER 100 new emojis BTW.
End of line.
Okay, hold on, before I lose track here. Portizo, thank you for the tier 1 sub, and for, oh my gosh, 42, 32, and then 8, and then 10, 42 months, holy moly, that's so many. Lazy, thank you for the tier 1 sub, and for 39, 5 is, this one, 30, you know why and what, Deziak, thank you for the Prime sub, and for 26. So we got 16, we got 4, now we need 8 and 2, 26. Let's see. Yeah, the new Nin song is fantastic. And if you like that, you should go listen to Love Is Not Enough off of With Teeth. And might sound a little familiar. See, Spooky, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I really appreciate that.
They've subscribed for 16 months.
End of line.
I don't think we... I think there might be a pop-up down there for some raids. I'm not sure.
Subscribed for 39 months. And says it's your boy, the Deck Talk, coming at you live.
End of line.
But Spooky, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I really do appreciate that. Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. Vital Kadeem, thank you for the 100 bits. Tech RW, thank you for the Prime sub for 16 months there. And Nakalak, thank you for the Prime sub for 39. That's that one number, again, that I don't, yeah, but yeah, oh man, so good. So on 303 last night, jamming, suddenly YouTube music popped on, new dance track. Yeah, that had to be very weird. Rate job at the bottom left? Okay, good. Isn't there at the moment. All right, I'm not sure. Well, we might look at that later. You guys want to see something weird? That's like crazy, like it should have been like this the whole time, but I only just found out. Okay, check this out. Whoa, look at how much this webcam video doesn't suck now. Isn't that crazy? Like, it's actually kind of good. It's almost fixed. There's a little bit more work I need to do. I'm not even sure exactly how I'm going to handle it, because this light here, this one is an issue. I can just turn it off. It'll look way better.
Subscribe for 8 months, currently on 8 months streak.
End of line.
Lucky Bob, thank you for the Prime sub and for 8 months. I appreciate that. Yeah, so it turns out cameras need light. And I put a light that bounces off of the wall that actually lights this area, and now it doesn't look terrible.
Something weird. Am I in the right channel?
End of line.
So actually the light is maybe a little too low as well. So if I put it up, it may stop shining directly into the lens, as now it's just gonna lens flare. There's no hood for that. Alerts are delayed. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. Do we want to see something weird about the right channel? Yeah. Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. Anyway, a little bit of glare. Yeah, but there was always a lot of glare from that one. That was the whole reason it looked so terrible. So we're going to call this a win for now. Anyway, let me switch on over to here, because today pretty much everything we're going to do is over here anyway. And, oh, would you look at that? Hey, you guys, if you're in Europe, you should go look at the Stop Killing Games initiative, because it's so close to hitting its 40% overage goal. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that is, that's a thing. It would be cool. But yeah, it's real close. So anyway, light gives glare in the webcam. Yes, but here's the thing. We were seeing nothing but glare before, okay? So that's that one little line there. Yeah, that's way better than what we had before, okay? So just like, it's either we'd put up with this for now, or basically the whole stream becomes me rigging up new lights, which I have some I could use. I don't really want to use them for this, but it might just make sense. So yeah. Let me tap a thing over here so I can actually read stuff. Okay. So let me go over what I want to do today. Europe or in the EU? Yeah, you know. If you're asking that question, you know. It's like the Linux GNU Linux thing. Dr. Doobie, thank you for the tier 1 sub there, and for 11. Oh man, you're making me count the hex now. 8 to 11 months. Thank you so much. This petition is closed. All petitions run. Well, I mean, yeah, the UK one is done. So it's actually done. So I'm gonna close the server because I think we're done with that for a little while here. All right. Sorry, I didn't see anyone seriously wanting a light hanging stream, which is good. So, because I don't want to do that on stream.
RHK77SI is correct answer. Lol CHEER 100.
End of line.
RHK, thank you for the 100 bits. I don't know if you intentionally have your name still set to black, but it makes it a nightmare to see on my thing. Minix win. Yeah, that's not happening. Okay. Yeah, Linux is full of self-recurring acronyms. All right, so this is PyDiscRip. I don't think I have ever worked on this on stream, and I want to work on this some today. So you understand how much does it weigh? The lights? The lights aren't that much like so. I have what's called a drop ceiling. It's the boring office ceiling, where you just where you have the I don't know, styrofoam tiles or whatever they are. There's like sheetrock or something.
As a person not from EU, but a person that ruins Freeman's mind at least once a year. I deeply root for Ross CHEER 101.
End of line.
Swarm, absolutely. I'm glad also that Game Dungeon is getting more traction for him too, because that's it's a lot more sustainable. But thank you for the 101 bits there. Hear about the EU Parliament Vice President supports SKG. I did not. That's fantastic news. That a lay person like that would. Woo, that's awesome. Did not yet know you can change the color name. Oh, well, there you go. Yes, so when you're on Twitch, it actually reads your Twitch color and uses that on the chat. If you're on YouTube, it uses your first 3 letters to determine it, but because English, they almost always end up being pink. It's a weird quirk. Anyway, trying to make sure I catch up here. Stream with the views, stepladder, legs, riveted content. Oh, well, we wouldn't use a webcam. The arm cam could actually show it. But anyway, lighting. All my lights are hung from the drop ceiling. So there's a little clip that I clamp on there, and then I screw on a light doodad thing, and then boom. So it's pretty simple for me to hang them. I just didn't think about this until literally 3 minutes before stream started. So, yeah. Okay, 2 EU Parliament people supporting SKG. Awesome. You know, I do wonder one thing I might be able to test here real quick, like, this might work. Okay, so I see the lens flare. I'm just gonna lens hood the webcam. Is it, that is possible. Okay. That's wild. Okay, well, that's not too difficult, actually. Let's get this thing really zoomed in. Lens flare gone. Okay. That's only extremely annoying. You guys gotta see this. This is hilarious. Get Pro. I am using Pro Droid Cam. There we go. Look at it's blocking so much of my view. Why did it drop to non-pro? No, bad. I mean, yeah, really. What are the odds it blows off the AC comes on? 0, the way that it's held on. Post-it note? Yeah, kinda. All right. You know what? I should have just left the phone on. I can just yak about this really quick. I am now convinced that Logitech is making things that are intentional garbage from the start, because I got this desk mat at Goodwill, so don't worry, I didn't give them any money. And here's the thing. The surface of the desk mat, you're like, oh, it's the Goodwill one, it's unused. But the surface of it is cloth and fuzzy from the get-go. Like, it's already soft. And that tells me that it's gonna wear out really fast, which is just, obviously it felt like it, they were doing that with the rubber coating on the mouse, but this just tells me they're doing it with everything. So it's just kind of annoying. Anyway, let me talk about this. All right, this is PyDiscRip, okay? This is a grease weasel and optical drive interface program suite thing that I've been working on off and on, and it is meant to be a replacement for the GW Tools repo that I made. And the idea here is that this has separate handlers for different media types, CD, DVD, floppy, and then different data type handlers. So we have bin queues, flux, ISO 9660s, waves, because one of the main features is use ARU. No, but it may, and I'll get to that. We'll look into that today, actually. One of the things it can do is rip CDs directly to FLAC, because it rips a CD, audio CD, to a bin queue, and then uses bchunk to extract the wave data, and then it uses FFmpeg to convert the waves to FLAC, because there's literally no reason to use wave when you can just have a FLAC instead. But I might also use redumper again. I don't know. It depends. We'll look. Okay. Currently uses CDR DAO. And while I'm fine with that, I have a potential use case for one of those two. So, this software is very fancy. Not to like toot my own horn, but I put a lot of features into it. One of the best ones here are the virtual data formats. So every format you want to make, you can create a JSON file like this. And if we look at, say, IBM 1440 here, There are no hard-coded specific floppy disk formats in this software. Every single one of them are a JSON like this. So it knows when it does the flux stage, it will be using tracks 0 through 79. The format that's passed to Greaseweasel is IBM 1440. That's way better than Goofy CSV. We're still using CSV, don't worry. CSV has its place. Then in the floppy stage, this is the RIP stage. This is the decode stage. So we're going to decode to IMG. We're doing that. But then we have a virtual data format, okay? The way that this works is it looks for a match. So we have input type ID binary. The flux format here will output a binary format, and then this will match it. You know what I should do? I should just pop a floppy in and let it run so you can see what the whole thing looks like. Let me double check that this floppy drive is actually working, because I have kind of a messed up setup here. I believe this is in my path already, but let me check if it's not. Home, archive, DiscRip. It is, okay. So let me just grab a 144 floppy real fast. Just so you have a sample to comprehend this against. I'm pretty sure I've already ripped this, but if not, it's fine. So this is disk 2 of Raptor. So let me just go through. You have some 90s games you want to archive. This might be useful. Maybe. Depends on how you want to handle it. Let me just cut to the heated meat. Today, I would like to work on making this slightly more Raspberry Pi compatible, because I don't think I'm ever going to get away from Linux as a dependency with how this works. So I think it would make sense to try and make it work on a Raspberry Pi through a web interface, so that people can just slap a Pi with a Greaseweasel in a box and boom, it's done. You'll note this is the floppy interposer project. So let's do the full shebang here. Okay, we're gonna make a mistake because Plasma 7, F10 doesn't make a new folder, Control N does. Plasma 6, Control N doesn't make a new folder, F10 does. Anyway, Raptor test. Okay, we're gonna go into this folder. We're gonna run DiscRip, okay, which is the name of the program in a not totally confusing at all way. We're gonna pass -C, and we're gonna pass a blank parameter. This gives us the header for a CSV that we need to fill in for this. So we can just pass this to raptor.csv. Boom. Now we can vim raptor.csv. So our media type is gonna be floppy. Floppy. Drive is A. Name is Raptor. I can type. And then I usually do, it would be 2 of 2 here. Test rip of Raptor on a 144 MB floppy. Okay, so we can save that, boom. All right, now what we do is we pass that as our parameter for CSV. And then for our config file here, we do IBM 1440, and then we run it. And that's new. I thought I'm trimming that. Huh. Okay. Well, bug 1 to fix. All right. So it's going to rip the floppy. The drive is, you'll notice, that just ran Greaseweasel. One of the things this software does, let me go ahead and open this in Kate while that works in the background. One of the things this does is directly call Greaseweasel, not there, but here. It imports the Greaseweasel Python module and then passes all of the data as parameters to the read function and then calls it directly within the software. So it's directly running Greaseweasel from within my Python program, which makes it really easy to work with. And this is where the problems are going to start and why we might switch to Aru or Redumper or something. So let's let this finish ripping. For right now, so you can see what this has to do. Fix a software bug that blown up. Wait, we had to fix a software bug that blowed up a resistor and embedded system. That's crazy. Extra fun because Control W can close a tab. Yes. And not Vim's. Yeah, but Control W in Tmux can also be used to switch windows. Yay. Okay, let me catch up here. What about Control Shift N? So Control Shift N in this Plasma opens a new tab. So annoying. So how long until fully mapped out? Donkey Kong Bonanza Web UI comes out. So actually, this is what I hinted at the end of the Mario Kart video. I was going to do that, but because the Super Mario Odyssey team doesn't suck, they actually included everything you need to complete the game within the game itself. So there's no reason to do that. Also, the game is very 3D, and that would not work. Like, it's extremely 3D, so it ain't gonna happen. I bid good luck to any website trying to do that. I didn't bring my Switch, or I would show you. It's actually insanely impressive. It should be Donkey Kong Minecraft, is what it really is. It's insane. Okay, unknown format, IBM 1440. What? Well, I wasn't expecting that. Okay. How do we handle that? So here's what happened. I added this feature today. I can fix this immediately. If it attempts, or when it attempts to decode the flux, if you do not provide a parameter for disk defs, then it appends its own internal disk def here. But apparently if you do that, it doesn't search for the included disk defs. I didn't know that. Or did that change? Because I don't know. That's a problem. Because I can either mirror all of Grease Weasel's disk defs or just like not. For now, I'm just gonna rip out these 4 lines of code and I'm gonna rerun it and then it'll continue from where it was. Okay, so here what it's doing as the next step. So just pretend that crash didn't happen at all. It's continuing on. It generated flux data, all right? And then it exported a flux data object back to the main loop of the code. So it knew there was flux. So then it decoded the flux into binary because there is a flux data handler. That's that file I just opened there. Now it's going to see that there was a binary data and that the thing here added a handler for binary, and what this did was run mcopy, which is a Linux utility for working with floppy disks, and boom, it exported files. So those are the files that are on the floppy disk, and it works through data types. So that's the whole thing. So Paul Guy, it's not about it being 3D and having to render 3D. It's about the map literally having things overlapping each other and having to do many layers of data and stuff. Yeah, it's not gonna work. There's no way. For one, there's no way to extract coordinates like I did previously. So that's just super not gonna happen. So yeah. Anyway, so again, how this works, you start with your media sample. It rips that to whatever its core thing is. Floppies go to flux, CDs go to bin queue. Then it looks for what can handle those. The flux decoder can convert flux to binary images. So here's a 144 megabyte disk image. We could mount this in 86 box. Then it looks to see if there's anything that can handle binary things. We added the virtual data format here that uses mcopy. To do that. There's a reason that it's a virtual data thing that I'll get to in a bit here. And that it was able to extract files. Okay, so let's go over some problems. Here, Nintendo break your kneecaps. I have not been contacted about Mario Kart, so I think it'll be fine. Okay. So installation, I added this section this morning because I had someone reach out who may have dot software, and they're like, I would love to rip this, but I'd never done it. And I'm like, that's gonna complicate things because it's weird. Anyway, this has 4 main dependencies here right now, okay? So CDR-DAO is how we rip CDs. B-chunk is how I extract waves and ISO layers from bin queues. DD rescue is how I rip DVDs. And I don't think I'm ever going to be able to replace that. And then 7-zip is how I can extract data from ISOs. So all of these have to be here, and I can't think of a great way of replacing them. I missed mtools. I didn't, because it's not natively required by the software. So all of these are in functions built into the software somewhere, like let's say binq, okay? So binq will run a command here. So this is a function that wraps a sub-process, and it's 7-zip also supports FAT12. Okay, I think there's a reason I'm not using it, but it doesn't really matter, as you'll see. Anyway, so I'm wrapping the command in sub-process. I forget why I did this. There was some extremely valid reason. I'm not just calling sub-process here. But anyway, oh, it might be for logging. I don't remember. Anyway, so these commands are run directly in the Python code like this. The mtools is not. So if I bring this back up here, I guess I'll double click it. You'll see that it is just a line in a dictionary here. The idea is to strip out as many hard-coded dependencies as possible. Now the reason that binq handling gets a pass is because it outputs 2 very unique data formats, or very core data formats, I'm going to say, and that there is some weird logic that goes with making sure you don't overwrite these if you rerun the processing. 7-zip is one that I could see actually just nixing and making that like the other thing, because you can see here, you essentially run one command and then that's it. There's nothing else to it. So that might become a virtual data format, actually. Any classic Mac support. Here's the thing, my software doesn't have to do jack. So it can work with classic Mac. It can't extract files because Macs are dumb, and they think that the files get cooties when they show up on a PC. So we can't easily like extract files, but it will rip to a like a Mac thing. Matter of fact, archive.org, somebody just used this to archive a Mac program. Keep them in Mac binary. Yeah, I don't know about that. I just keep them in a disk image. Anyway, I used this exact software. I added the Mac 400 format. We could add the Mac 800 format. You can see here, it's nothing. It's cakewalk. Anyway, Mac Cousin soft strip drivers. Woo! I got this last week, so it's now possible to use a Cousin soft strip reader with a Mac. This is backed up on archive.org. So it's so close to a good idea. What do you mean? Mac also has 2 data streams for one file. Yeah, the resource forks and all that nonsense. Has GW upstream sort has 800 decoding? Remember, it used to be dreadful. I don't know. Someone's tried this in an emulator and it worked. So, oh, the resource. Yeah, resource forks are dumb. So yeah, it can support Mac. Basically, you just need to copy paste this, make a Mac 800. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be that much. Yeah, but I'm not ever. I don't think I would ever try to extract anything. So mentioning Mac utils and documentation summary could be helpful to people. So I didn't know that existed, so I couldn't mention that. Here's the thing: this isn't a wiki of how to work on disk images. So I gotta pick my battles here. I'm trying to educate everyone on every format. Like, I'm not gonna educate people on how CPM disks work with the BIOS section that you need to be able to skip so you can read the data off of the file system, and that there's a difference between CPM 2.2 and CPM 3.0. Like, there are a whole lot of roads we could go down. So I gotta pick my battles. Anyway, I would like to eliminate as many system level programs as I can. So it's, I think, possible that CDRDAO and bchunk could be replaced by Aru, but I don't know. So let's look Aru Python. Is there a Python interface for Aru? Because I don't know. What is it written in? Could I just, that looks a lot like C#, I'm guessing. Oh, I guess this will tell me. C#, drat. Okay, well, that's not gonna work. Okay, Aru is unfortunately not gonna work. Submodule run. So here's the thing. It would be real sweet if someone could just pip install PyDiscRip. But you can't with this stuff. Additionally, this makes Linux a hard dependency. Because CDRDAO, not on Mac. bchunk, no, not on, well, maybe it's on Mac actually. Not on Windows, at least I don't think. bchunk, not on Windows. DD-Rescue, not on Windows. 7-zip is on Windows, but like, you know. So, this basically hard codes it to Linux. So that's the thing. I can, if we determine it's not possible to bring everything into native Python, then I'm going to target Raspberry Pi as the primary platform, I think. It's kind of thing drives people to Dockerize. Yeah, but we're not doing that. That sounds excessive for this. Additionally, that would make file access a whole other nightmare. So probably not Aru. Okay, redumper. Redumper. Okay, let's look at this. Low level CD dumper utility. Okay, I assume this is written in C? C++, okay. So it might be possible to make a like Python C types wrapper thingamajig for this. I don't know how to do that. So let's see, redumper Python. Python dump data structure. No, looks like there is no good way to do that. Okay. You do winget, KDE, connect. I don't know. Probably just pack. Yeah, it's a difficulty I ran into in trying to package this. Yes, exactly. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. You submitted the PR for that, didn't you? For trying to, yes, exactly. Yeah, you know the struggle. Okay, I forgot about that. And then I commented that it's all awful. I think I did. I meant to. I may have just told you on camera. So yeah, this is where this sucks. Because yeah, so this eventually seemed like maybe the best option, and that's just bleh. So, yeah. Was it GDD Rescue? I didn't even remember that. That's probably why I always have a difficult time installing it. This software is really difficult to get running. Just to be clear, for me, when I set it up on a new system, because it has so many stupid external dependencies. Application suites get more into distro package container territory. Exactly, yes. We would need to put deb dependencies in here, which, ugh. So, here's my thought. To make this Raspberry Pi compatible, okay, what we would do is we would look at the main DiscRip code here, and we would break out a lot of the logic here because this has the main logic for rip a media sample, and then find the data type handlers and run the data type handler. This has the main data processing logic. I should put that into a separate class kind of thing, and then have that be called by this, but then have this have a parameter to run Flask, and then just have a web interface. And then in the meantime, as a quick implementation, it could just have like 4 text boxes, you know, media type. Actually, that should be a drop down. Media type, drive, name, and description. And then it would save that to a folder on the Pi, and then you could have that be like a network share or something, and then pull the files off. So I think that would be the easiest, quick way to do this for people. Because I can't think of a great way of packaging this elsewise, because it has dependencies, and these dependencies are ancient code. Like, redumper there was probably the newest. I mean, RU is probably the newest. Where'd redumper go? I left redumper. There it is. When was the last time this was updated? 5 days ago. Okay. Whew, oh my gosh, there's so many commits on RU. Good grief. RU is so complicated. See, I get to looking at RU, and then I wonder, is this just exactly the same thing as what I'm writing? And then partially cryo flux. So like, no, it can't do floppy. I want to use RU, but at no point have I looked at RU and it felt like it made sense as the right choice. Why? Okay. Yeah, I'm mostly working with floppy, so RU is kind of out there. If it supported Grease Weasel, I don't know. Here's the other thing. I'm wondering, am I going to be the only person who ever uses this? I don't know. Just improving an RU? I don't know about that. 6,000 commits versus 57. Like, come on. Commits are not quality, but there's a correlation. So it's difficult to say. RU has like different goals though, and I don't fully understand them. How many of those are revert or update dependency? Probably not many. Mine isn't written in .NET. I mean, yeah, that does. I can't fault someone for using the language I know. It's the reason I'm rewriting this from Bash. So redumper, what can this do? Low level, byte perfect, CD disk dumper, supports incremental dumps, SCSI, advanced something. Is this only CD? Can this do DVD? Control F, DVD. Well, it looks like it supports it. You got a bad Sunday afternoon trying to get. I mean, I don't think I have a bad. That sounds stupid though. By improving mean user friendliness? I don't know. So the way this is written, it would be entirely possible to use RU later, already. So this is already written modularly, so we don't have to make the RO decision right now. It would just be nice to eliminate some of the system stuff, but it looks like nothing is ever going to do that. So I think I should just hard settle on a Raspberry Pi, which is going to require a web interface. Because ain't no one got time to SSH into a Raspberry Pi. All right. Let's see if we can get a Flask interface running for this really quick that'll allow rips. Yeah, I swear I'm not a web dev. Okay. Well, hold on. First, I need to resolve the config problem. How do I do that? So, oh my gosh. Let me try this. Python get location of module. See, this is why Windows sucks. Okay, well, we don't really need, hold on, Python 3. We're not doing any math. What do you mean? Date time is not defined. Oh, we got to import date time. Okay. We'll do that in a second. So back to here. Flux. Import module. All right, let's import Greaseweasel and see what that looks like. Import Greaseweasel and then Greaseweasel's file. Okay. That is not at all what I expected. Okay, so is there next to this ls data and then disk defs, right? Okay. So here's my thought. We attempt to run the Greaseweasel, and then if the format is not in the native disk defs, we use the custom one. So we try accept that, and then if it's not in that, we use, actually, we don't have, actually, this is easy. Okay, hold on, I cracked it. Okay. Add this back, and then we're going to take it away. All right. So, run the Greaseweasel read. Okay. So we can do try, and then accept, but I don't remember error. I don't remember what the error object is. We'll look at that later. Then we oh, that's a problem. I need to be able to change this parameter value. Somewhere in here, I'm pretty sure I'm doing a generic try catch, so I can cheat and use that. Pretty sure, at least. Try. No. I'll look for that in a
Douglas
second.
McDodgerson subscribed at tier 3. They've subscribed for 33 months. And says just driving by to say hi.
End of line.
Dogface, thank you for the tier 3 sub. Holy moly. And for 33 months, double thumbs up. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And hello. We are working on some stupid, dumb Python code that I don't know if will work. How can we do this? I think I have to make another function where we build the args and then we modify them with the distro or the default diskdef or custom. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about this. There are 3 possible options for diskdefs. The Greaseweasel default ones, the repo provided ones, and a full custom user one. All 3 of those are completely valid in this case. So if none are provided, it should use the Greaseweasel default. If none are provided and it errors, then I would like it to try to use the repo one. And then if the user provides one, it should just use that only. I didn't know it would not search default ones. I'm kind of tempted to like make a pull request to fix it. I think I'm gonna open an issue here. See if I would like an answer if this is intended functionality or not. Open source in real time? I guess so, yes. I don't think there is like a standard structure. Dude, I kind of hate the Git repos where people are like, you must follow this exact format layout when you're submitting an issue or we're just going to delete it. And then it's really stupid. It's just a bunch of emoji check marks or whatever. Well, so Red Queen, it's not that your diskdef is bad. It's that, like, let's say, I mean, that's the thing. I would like to know if it's intended behavior or not. Because, like, I can see where you're coming from, but I could also see just preferring a fallback. And they close it for inactivity 3 months later. Yeah. I have one of that. Let's see. Is it still here? Yep, here it is. Best method for contributing new diskdefs. I posted this, 0 response. Now, this isn't an issue, to be clear. This is about trying to figure out, like, what should I submit? Because, like, the Jonos, I'm the only person with a Jonos. Should that be committed to the Greaseweasel? I don't know. So, like, should it be there or not? And then things like the HP Lift, where there's a billion different ones. I don't know. Searching several paths if you don't find what you expect is common behavior. Yeah. See the ease of use versus awk-like dichotomy. Yeah, awk is awful. Logic appears to be there's default diskdefs with the command line option overrides it. Yeah, that's what it seems like. But I would just like to know if that is Like, would a pull request to fix that be accepted? Gotta ignore some misspelled contributing. Yeah, exactly. It's partly a documentation project. I can see it being committed. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, yeah. The misspelling. Let me think about this. Okay. As intended for finding custom disk will prevent searching default disk desk. Okay, if I use blah 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 blah. Custom CHG does not have. Trying to figure out how to phrase this where it doesn't seem like I have just made my own problem, even though I kind of have made my own problem. Because, like, my code can, in theory, handle this. And I'm probably about to go program a fix for it, and that's going to end up being the only thing that we have time for today, because I wasn't expecting this problem. But this also feels like something that could be very easily handled upstream, and that kind of makes sense. You know what? I'll just leave it simple. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Small problem becoming a big problem as usual. Yeah, obviously just load the entire disk stuff set to memory, build a state machine. Yeah. Well, Red Queen, the other option is to just, and what I was originally looking at doing with this, is Greaseweasel added the ability to nest disk defs. So I could just post-pend the location of the default disk defs to mine, but I don't know where it's going to be on the user's system. So that's why I was looking at importing the module and then going up in the directory and then using that to find the disk defs file. But that would require weird stuff, and I don't know that that's like the way I want to go. So the other option is just running it, failing, and then running it again. You know what? Ben, it sounds like you found the code very quickly for this. Line 135. Pro tip, Ben. You can click a line number, boom, and then it adds an anchor, so you can link directly to that. Okay. Okay. Disk def file. Okay. Permanent insert. Okay. Didn't work as dick. Yeah, okay. Can make it like a flat pack or just git repos. Repo, I think you're okay. I trust people among your own paths. No, because Red Queen, here's, let me take a step back and explain my thought process here. On multiple occasions now, I have encountered people who have a floppy disk that I want the contents of. They are not willing to ship it, and they say they'll rip it themselves. And then I never hear back from them because it's hard. I want to make this as easy as possible. So I want to be able to work on this repo, say, I know how this floppy disk is structured, build the disk defs and everything needed for this, tell them install this on a Raspberry Pi, plug in the Greaseweasel, click the button, and then output disk image. So that's my thought process. But I'm looking at this, Ben. This is codec, huh? Import Greaseweasel data as F lines, parent path, OS. But they need a Greaseweasel, yes. I don't think a Flatpak is it, but a GUI, yes. A web interface, yeah. I don't know why Flatpak would be the option. Flatpaks and snaps are stupid. Debian packages exist for a reason. Python has optional? What do you mean optional? This? I have no idea what that is. Assuming they decided they needed some stupid massive modern JavaScript to implement a simple link to an anchor on the same page. And JavaScript doesn't like the version of Safari. Oh, okay. Yeah, probably. Something dumb like that. You tried to package Debian? No, but if you're writing software, you can probably figure it out. All right, here's my problem. This seems to be in a completely different area of the code from checking for a format. Diskette file, disk def. Okay, so optional, whatever this is, tuple, add param, yada yada, heads, finalize, track set. So where is this used? Here, get disk def. Okay, disk def file. Okay. Okay. group to get disk def file. Okay. So is that the only place it's called? Here to get all format. Yeah, see, this isn't gonna work. This would require. Yeah, so Ben, if the file was missing, we could check there, but it looks like they. Yeah, it looks like the way it's structured, that would not be trivial to have it check a second file. This seems like one of those requests that is simple in theory and difficult in practice. And that the way that the code was architectured from the start is what determines whether or not it is easy or difficult to do. And since I can see literally 3 calls to this in like 15 lines, it's going to be hard. It's just a type that can contain a value or none. Well, that's weird since anything can contain a value or none in Python. From a single package, user install. I don't know. I hate Flatpak. I hate any. I hate them. I'm sorry. No. Anyway, okay. I don't know, man. Hijack that function to build a function with your function. I get what you're saying, that I could overload this function in my code, but the problem is that I can't fix it like that. Like even if I, in my software, overloaded that function, that's not the place to do it. The problem is that it loads the file and then checks for the format. It doesn't check if the format is in the provided file and then load it. Like there's 2 schools, there's like several different ways that it could have been implemented, and this is one of the ways that makes this problem difficult to solve. I think I keep this really simple. Thank you, see how? There's a codec get disk def name.
Nesreal subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 37 months. And says, I love having to manually export my cookies from Chrome into Firefox to be able to log into Twitch on Linux :
End of line.
I'm not sure why you have to do that, but Nesrael, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 35 months. I appreciate that. Wait, 37. So try get codec format, and if that fails without custom file name, there's also codec get all formats. You know what's in your file and what's in the default file. Handle the logic that way. I mean, but what I'm saying is that those functions might be called in many different places. and that it would not be trivial to handle that. I'm also not seeing where you're finding that. I'm in codec, and I'm not seeing, not a path name, yeah, that kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm saying. I'm also not seeing that function. I might just be in the wrong place. Anyway. Okay, keep it short. I'll just do this. Cares about that? You just call them yourself before you do anything. Make a decision about how you want to call the rest of the GW code. Well, here's my thing, okay? So let's go back to my code, okay? Here. What you were suggesting would take place here. And the only difference, I can solve this a lot easier without having to dig deeper into the Greaseweasel code and tying my code to how its logic works, by just abstracting out building the arguments. So I think I might just do that. So if I just make a new function in here, so def build args, like doesn't even need anything. Like I think everything, maybe data in. Like it's not gonna need a lot. And then I'll just have a bool for default diskdef equals false. You know what? Let's go true. Because like 99% of the time, it's probably going to be just 144s. Let's be real. Okay, it looks like I might need to pass down. We have data in and data. So we need data in and data. So we'll rip this out. Boom. Pop it here. Call build args. Args equal, and then we'll just return args. Okay, we don't pass that. Then if error, args default equals false. And then we use this. If not that, boom. To use any AI code completion to this day. I have never used AI code completion. I have never intentionally used AI for anything ever. PyDiscRip v3? No. Okay, it's a very bad idea when your code is public. Well, thanks, keyboard. I'm not sure what you mean. Let's see, run updates. Okay. I think there was a thing that I broke, but I don't know what it was now. Okay, try, oh, this. Try accept all errors. Python try accept all errors. Oh, that would be good. All right. Yeah, just give me all. Exception as E. That's right. Python syntax is dumb. Okay. Boom. There we go. And then... I think we can just do this. Okay. Use default disk def. Use repo disk def. Okay. Use PyDiscRip. Oh, the GW tools? So this is supposed to be a replacement for GW tools. It's slightly more complicated in some ways, but a lot more robust. But it also is meant to run kind of basically the same. Do I have online backup? I'm not sure what you mean by online backup. You mean like I upload my files somewhere else? No. The old bash CD. Oh my gosh, you were using CD? Wow, okay, that, geez. Yeah, that was similar to this. That is the main reason this exists. That code is awful. Yeah, so why I was saying I won't complain about someone using the code they're familiar with. CD ripping. I want you to just see this really quick, okay? This is the true precursor to PyDiscRip. Look at this monster. This is stupid. This is all one bash file for just ripping CDs. Secretly waiting for that CD ripping video that got rambles out the past 5 years. Yeah, I know. Oh, it's so bad. It's one of those things, the more you know you don't know. That's the problem. It's like, My local backups are a box of hard drives in the other room over there. The server's at my house, other hard drives are here. So I have offsite, not cloud. I feel like this will work. So let's find out. I'm going to delete the Raptor folder. We're just going to rerun that. Okay, so it worked. And it used the default disk def. Okay, so what I think we'll do next is we'll make up a fake disk def. You know, we can just do that really quick, actually. Let's make a fake one that's in this. All right. Disk test. Okay. Sills equal 2. Heads equal 2. Tracks IBM.mfm sectors equal to end. Boom. So you just rewrite it in assembly because you find inefficiencies. Oh, I don't care about the inefficiencies. This is developer cycles, not you know, like runtime cycles. It's a thing that I heard about for the first time this last week. It's not UX, it's DX, developer experience. So yeah, I don't care. The developer experience in this case is the user experience. So it doesn't really matter. But that's the idea. Make it work, then make it pretty efficient. We'll see. The making it work is the more important part right now. Oh, I need a fake config file. Hold on. Whoa, what happened there? Build args is not defined. You mean self.build args. That's true. It also means I didn't do this right. Self dot. Just rerun that real quick, like. No such, yeah, fair. Build args takes 3 to 4, but 5 were given. Oh, that's right, we don't actually pass self. Bash is always fun, challenge working, never done anything remotely complex in it, though. It's not good. Highly not recommended. We're going to get rid of the virtual data format. Okay. And we call this test, not JSON. Okay, so we have a grease weasel disk def. And the other thing, all right, I'm going to delete that folder. I am going to use this same logic over in the floppy thing now. Although we don't actually use the disk format in this. So you know what? That does not matter. So, okay, now we do this. And then we set our format to test.json. Why are we reading 80 cylinders? I set it to 2, so that's not right. To find the rarest, most interesting. Yeah. I do a lot of research. There are things that I know of that I'm looking for that I know I will never find. It will not happen. That there were probably more of made than the Jonos. Or not that, well, yeah, than the Jonos, but the dot is what I meant. I'm going to let this run and see what happens. I don't know where it got the 80 tracks. How did it not run that? Power of having complete run of old computers. It's, I was talking with Digital Ice Age as I was researching the dot stuff. And there was this section of an InfoWorld article that I was looking at. And it talked about 3 different computers. I think one of them was the CompuPro 816. One was the dot. And I forget what the other one was. But it was this whole section of articles. And it was like I owned every single computer that they were talking about there. It was like I was without even thinking about it, I was reading through that and fact checking what they were saying. Like, oh yeah, that is true. And it was just hilarious because, yeah, my collection is getting to that kind of point now where I'm just reading through random stuff and it's like, check, check, check. But there's still some glaring holes in my collection. Don't get it thinking that I have everything. Like an HP 150, pretty big miss. I need to get rid of the virtual section entirely. There we go. Section not specified. Okay, it tried running unknown format test. Okay, Grease Weasel error fatal. It looks like it's raising an error. It doesn't just sys exit after that, does it? Raise. Oh no. Please tell me it doesn't do that. Okay, no. No, it never exits. Gotten back to messing with 8.16 again. Currently trying to get SP. What is that? What is the SPUZ? Because for an upcoming video, I had to dig out my M drive, and I was looking through my box of S100 cards, hoping it was in there. It wasn't. I had to take it out of the computer, which was on a shelf and a nightmare. Anyway, I found I had an SPUZ card, and I have like no clue what that is. It's Babbage Engine. That's not it, Philip. One of them I don't remember the name of, and the other one is like Pronto 16 or something. The only place that I know that has one is a Smithsonian, and it's the first tower desktop. Z80 CoPro. Okay, but like, what does it do? Do you just run CPM 80 on it? Gotta get your hands on a Zeus Z4. I have no idea what that is. Micronova GPIB card. That's also not it. That's not an Amiga. They would have to be real for that to be a thing. Okay. I mean, I guess data blank. Why is it not trying both? Flux. Okay, hold on. Print. It's me, Mario. L is real. There's no reason debug messages can't be fun. Okay. Okay. So it is not correctly trying to use the repo one. Okay, there we go. Meant to run 8-bit software when you're running 16. Oh, okay. So that's the 8 of the 816 then. Okay, can also be used for some multi-user stuff. Okay. Never occurred to me to use Mario debugging. I'll do it exclusively from now on. When all you need is a difference between A and B, why not have some fun? So this part of the code is not working. Default disk def. Okay. So if default disk def, it should use the system one. If not, so if this is false, but why? Any uniquely greppable string helps, yes. Special logs are collected some big log storage. These are actually. So there is a log directory here that you can search through. I forget why they're called JSON. Oh, because this is dumping the dictionary file. So there's a parameter where you can just dump all the data. So these are the args. Wait, I should have checked this because that's correct. Distaffs, okay. Why is that not working? Hey, guess who was right when they said it would take all day for just this? Put an index of your debug strings at the top of each file like a game fact. I forgot that I had logs I could go look at and that's helpful. Why it not work? Args false. Well, we know that's running. I'm asking us or the program. I'm asking the processor that's running the code. Because it seems like it should be working. I wonder if I'm having a scope issue. And somehow it's getting the old args? That doesn't make sense because these are separate scopes. How? The SPU-Z to run CPM 80 stuff when I have my 8086 CPU card installed. The 8085 doesn't need it, but the card fails to run. Okay, hold on. 8085. Yeah, so that 8086 card blows my mind, by the way. The fact that it doesn't have that no back seating. No, give me spoilers. I want spoilers. We're trying to speed run this. I also have the 286 card, it turns out. I forgot about that. I should really wiki up everything. I think I have photos of it all, but I have not wikied it. I would love to know more. I don't know, man. After the data general stuff, I'm really nervous about going older in computer stuff now. And way more nervous about businessy type stuff. So maybe stream exclusive for a while. I don't know. S100 nonsense. Well, stay hydrated. I have a suspicion that you cannot simultaneously run any of the same architecture in the computer. So you probably can't run the 8086 and the 286. And whether or not you count the 8085 as that is debatable. I would say no. I am so confused. Oh, I agree, Paul Guy, especially with what I have for the S100s. When I got those, I hit the mother load. Outside of just having an Altair 8080, I don't think I could have asked for any better. And even then, the MSI's probably a better experience. Requires a lot of emotional processing. No, it just requires, well, it just doesn't get any views. That's the problem. You can only run one CPU card, and you run multiple SPU cards. Oh, okay. Genuinely, I don't know. Do I need, because this is a named parameter? It can't be that. Seriously, I don't know why. I don't know what the problem is. I genuinely do not know. Return data. God, I love how the stack is like 12 calls deep. File res main args file unknown format test. We are sending it the diskdefs parameter that should go to a file. It's not complaining that it cannot find that file. Yeah, so I did attempt to do that, Sanity, and then it was going to take forever for it to approve, and I was trying to, like, get it going. So I could add it now, the attribution, but I'd added the emote like 3 minutes before the stream started, and it was going to take forever to approve the attribution. So that was why I didn't. Blew a fuse in the CompuPro and he saw it because of a shorty tantalum. Ooh. Ugh. Wait, sector or size? Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. It works fine. Is that what I need to do? Okay, it works. There we go. We can handle disk defs that are not in the normal with graceful fallback. All right. I added the test one, so let's delete that because we don't actually want that.
Sleepy developer says CHEER 100 words fine first try. We saw nothing.
There we go.
End of line.
Don't look at this part. That's spoilers. Don't look at it, okay? Just don't do it. All right, now we need to commit changes, git diff, and thank you, Sleepy Developer, for the 100 bits. That's the kind of bug I would only find after I go for a walk where you stare at something too long and start ignoring parts. Yes, dude. I will get to a point in projects, and it can even be just like brain dead simple projects, where it will be like 9 a.m., all right? And I will be like, I just need to stop and like lay down for a second, let my brain unload everything, come back to it, and just look at it all again. Or if I'm working on something late, I will have to stop for the day, come back to it, look at it in the morning, and solve it in 5 minutes. Like, I know that so much. It's so true. Okay, I think that'll work. Git commit search default Python disk defs first. I mean, the git push isn't totally wrong, but I would need this there. Okay. Naps, walks, both work for that? Yeah. You just need to get to the point where you find the solutions in your dreams. Yeah, really. I swear I have had that happen before. Worst time of the day. The post-coffee time of the day. Okay. Well, that ate up way more time than I anticipated. We definitely do not have time to do anything else. So, instead, let me do this. Blank dot disks. I haven't ripped these. On the Microsoft DOS disk, they screwed up and they left the source code for the io.sys file in there. I wonder if there's anything on these. Let's find out. Blank dot discs, yeah. We'll rip them and see what there is. So if you've never seen these before, these are Sony auto shutters. You slide it over and it clicks and holds open because it's crazy. They actually sold that source code as an OEM product. I wonder if anybody found it back in the day. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay. One downside to this, maybe we should add this. I don't know. Let's just let's add a dot format. Wiki, tech tangents. Were there much sales? Well, we got no idea on that. They probably genuinely sold like 10. Okay, so this is the dot disk def. IBM dot, no, we'll call it CDI dot. CDI dot. Because, you know, maybe one day we'll find the 1206 floppy disks and then we'll need CDI 1206. That's definitely, totally, for sure gonna happen. Yeah, okay. Computer devices dot. Okay. That's all I need. Well, actually, that's not all I need. I need, let's grab, sure, this. CDI dot, I like how it's CDI dot JSON. Okay. CDI dot, it's only 70, so I'll do that to there. It is only single-sided as well, h equals 0. Do this, do that, make it IMG, and there we go. So now, let's delete the stupid test file because we don't need that. Copy, paste, dot, blank. All right. Open with Kate. CDI dot blank. Here, let me flex the power of the software. 1-3 blank disk question mark. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do this. 2, 3, boom. This is why I do CSVs, because it can queue. So let's go ahead and rip this. So we're gonna do dot blank and then format CDI dot. Yo, what? What's messed up? Config read something or another, JSON decoding property name and something. Did I mess it up here? Oh, I probably had, man, I hate JSON. Why is it reading 80? Oh, because it always does it always overread? I don't think it's supposed to. Is it not using this? Well, I mean, that's fine, I guess. Memory's being a turd. What's the unusual part about the dot disk format? They are single-sided 70 tracks. Also, they don't have a standard FAT12 header. Yeah, the number of sectors is different as well. Yeah, once it's into a decoded binary format, it in theory should work, and that the disk structure doesn't matter. The disk structure really matters for old PCs. Like if you tried to put this in the IBM convertible, it's definitely not going to work. What's the product? What's some product number for that, by the way? IBM PC convertible. Because I never remember. 5140. I don't. Wasn't that the, oh, it's 5170 for the AT, right? 5170. Okay, so it's 5140 for that. Okay. I don't know if I'll remember that. I don't know. That one keeps escaping me for some reason. You don't have to paste new boot sector over, stuck a script to do that. Yes, I know. You want to write something better? All right. Here's my question, Ben. So you said it was trivial to paste a boot sector over to read it. But why is it not trivial to paste a new boot sector over, add files to it, and then paste the old boot sector back over? Or what did it have to do with that like weird table of contents offset? What do you mean 0 out of 8 sectors? Oh, is it just not formatted at all? Wait, are they truly blank? It could be that. I hadn't considered that. They might not even be formatted. That would be kind of lame. But you know what? I bet that's what it is. I bet they are pure... No, that looks formatted. What? What is this? It's sure taking a sweet time loading that. I mean, Ness, we kind of have all the source code we need. I don't think there's anything else we could really ask for. But badly has a joke, yeah. Okay. What? I don't know what that is. Let's just stick in the next one and see what we get. That's weird. Does the dot read that? It's a blank disk. I've never even put it in the computer. This is the first time it's ever been put in a floppy drive, and the media is completely fine. It's probably never been in, I mean, it's literally never been in a floppy drive after it left the factory. So that is, Wiseman, a valid question. They are soft sectored. I don't think there are any hard sectored 3.5 inches. Not Sony type, at least. Yeah, I got one guy who keeps trying to comment about someone in Hungary, I think, that invented a 3.5 inch disc before Sony. And I can't bring myself to reply back to him and break his heart, because, like, it doesn't matter. It's not the 3.5 inch disc format. It's a disc format. Not sure if it was actually 3.5 or not. And the dude who made it just, like, designed it and got a patent for it, but then could not manufacture it until the 80s. So it didn't actually mean anything, because anyone could have looked at an 8-inch floppy drive and gone, yes, that, but smaller. They make all the numbers smaller in the dimensions. Like, I don't know if I can find it. Hungary floppy drive. Like, I don't, yeah, this thing. So, invented it in 1974. Okay, but when you look into the history, he filed for a patent for it in 1974, but could be produced at his company no earlier than the beginning of the 1980s. Because again, he just took floppy disk like concept, made all the numbers smaller. Yeah, our programmer, I think there's a part of that. That's really neat, yeah, but I don't know, like, I don't think there's anything real about it. Like, Jack Tramiel, director of Commodore, negotiated about the product in Hungary. Bureaucratic socialist company was able to, yeah. Yeah, I don't think it ever actually happened, so. Yeah, I don't really think there's anything to say about it. The dude is on a crusade commenting about it on videos, though, I think. But yeah. But even this one, I think will say that it wasn't able to be produced until like 19. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, it's just it's not historically notable. Expect 3 Amstrad floppy to be in a video sooner than that. Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, I'm never going to get my hands on one of those. It's the only person at Planet that owns a Noonbox 2-inch floppy drive? Possibly, yeah. Early adopters getting screwed again. I'm not sure it was ever sold. Only a few thousand copies were made. Beginning of the 1980s, yeah. Is that TI? IBM deliberately incompatible? I don't know what you're talking about. The one that I just showed was complete left field, like random. There's nothing relevant. Okay, what does this one look like? I have no idea what interface it uses. Yeah, you'd probably be best off just trying to interface with it directly with a grease weasel. So 21 megabyte floptical is more real. I mean, you should look at the thumbnail for this stream on the Red site. Check on eBay, see how much they want. Sure, yeah, you go ahead and look on eBay for me. I'll pay $500 for that drive with a disc on eBay. Dude, it's the same thing. What on earth? We're gonna rip Raptor again just to make sure my floppy drive didn't just die. These are the weirdest blank discs I've ever seen. It's not going to be on eBay. I'm not even going to bother checking. It's just not going to be there. There's no point. It's like, I might as well see if there's a Rosetta Stone on eBay. It's not going to be there. Additionally, it may not show up because they might have it filtered to only ship to Hungary, which will mean I can't find it. So I'd have to go to the ebay.hr or whatever their TLD is. Check OfferUp. I always forget OfferUp and Let Go and all those exist. Anyway, this you can see is the queue method. So I built up the CSV with the multiple things here, and it gets to a point where it just pauses, waits for an input, and then you just hit enter to keep on trucking. Am I going to regret clicking this? Yeah, look at that. That one's fantastic. Everyone should have been using those. Yeah, I'm going to guess the top of that box, or is it the left side of that box? Is yellow there, Ren Dog?
They've subscribed for 30 months.
End of line.
Willie Fleet, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 30 months. What is it? I hate to break it to you. It's a CD and a floppy cleaning sleeve. All right, there we go. Let's look at the last one. Not even a Blu-ray? No, because a Blu-ray wouldn't have the cool rainbow. Oh, that was an idea. Actually, not a bad idea. Yeah. All right, let me look at this. What we got here? Rare. Oh, come on. Me when I'm taking notes on my 1 3x5-inch postcard at school, writing smaller and smaller as I start to run out of space. Came back in time just for WWE. I didn't say I'd buy a Rosetta Stone. I said I would buy the floppy drive that doesn't exist. Did we look at the last one? I don't think we did. Oh, I think it finished reading. Here we go. Yeah, it's wonky as all get out. What on earth is wrong with this thing? Okay, let's re-rip Raptor just so I don't lose my mind here. Oh, Sierra, that tablet, yeah. I'd rather you buy the Rosetta Stone. It's not, I bet it's fake. It's also not a Rosetta Stone, just to be clear. Seems like it would be sold at Hobby Lobby. I mean, even a real one could be sold at Hobby Lobby, if you know. Okay, rip Raptor, format, IBM, dot, 1440, go! Oh gosh. I beat on the desk and then the phone fell off. Guessing red is no valid flux. Okay, so yeah, I gotta explain this. So we should see like sectors. We're not seeing anything. So the blue is where it recognizes actual flux data. Black is, I'm actually not 100% sure what black is. Red represents noise, like no legitimate flux data. Stream dead. I don't know how. Back? Yeah, I don't think that was me. I think that was Twitch. Anyway, let me start again explaining this. Blue is flux data that HXC does not know how to decode. I don't know what black is. Like, I actually have no idea. Red is noise. So that should be like that in all cases on this. But I don't know what the black is. We heard a crashing, oh gosh, then F. Oh, my Note 9 fell off of the label printer, and then unrelated, Twitch had streaming issues. Because it wasn't my side. So once this finishes, you know what, I can just chuck what it's got so far into here and you'll see. So if I throw this in there, you'll see sectors appear instead of just like one long radial sector. It's weird. Black is no flux, red is bad flux, blue is, okay. So that's what a disk should look like. So that's correct. Those other ones are just super wonky. So yeah, there's definitely no data hiding out in the blanks. At least now we know. Literally have it exactly when you drop something. Let me put it this way. I could unplug all power to this desk for everything that I'm using over here and it would not affect the stream. Okay, like literally hold power button on computer, doesn't affect the stream. Off, doesn't matter. I needed to turn it off anyway because we're done now. Yeah, because that is, I have a separate computer for the stream, and then there's the server at home. Like, I could stop and restart this stream. The stream would keep going. For the stream, this is how I know that it wasn't me, because I did not disconnect from my home server. So, on that, I will mention this. I can hear there is work going on, including the webcam and mic. Yeah, those are not connected to that computer. Bulk erase disk. I don't know. It's really weird. Anyway, I mentioned before that there's a possibility that the floor is going to be resealed outside of my office. It's very close to happening now. I don't know when it's going to happen. So there's a very good chance one day this weekend I'm just going to show up and I'm not going to be able to get into the office and stream. So just letting you know. Better news. Google Fiber is actually going to happen here, I think. It looks like there is actual contact with Google Fiber about getting service run here now. I went to the post office today to try and correct my weird address issue that I have happening with this location so that I can actually get service. So maybe at some point in the future, we'll be able to have like good high quality streams that won't rely on my awful home internet. So that is the good news. It's looking like that there might be a light at the end of the tunnel for the stupid internet problems now. You write your name in the new sealant. Oh, gosh. So, yeah. But for now, we're stuck using LTE, which is more reliable than my home internet. So annoying. Actual fiber, optical fiber into the building? Yes. It will be so nice. It will be ridiculous. And I will be so jealous at home. So, but yeah. For now, though, Chad, is this real or am I dreaming? Yeah, really? 8K 3D 120. Okay, so here's the thing. It'll only ever be 1080p 60 because these cameras can only output 1080p 60. They record in 4K, but they do not support 4K output over HDMI. So that's unfortunate. Not that it really matters.
End of line.
Swarm, thank you for the 111 bits. Whatever they start when you're in the office, I don't know. I'm in here doing epoxy without checking out. No kidding. Technically, there is a way I could get out. It would be really awful, but it would not be impossible. Then we don't need the home server. No, that will be nice to eliminate. It, in theory, would have been cool if my home internet hadn't sucked, but in practice, it's terrible. So, oh well. Mission Impossible to the drop ceiling, you got it. I think of it more as Die Hard through the drop ceiling, but yeah. So, yeah. No, these dots are incredible. They are so awesome. I can't wait. So tomorrow and Sunday, we're going to tear apart probably this one and cat map it. That way we can get everything ordered to try and repair them. So that's the plan. Technically, you need 2 exits. I don't know what you mean. For like fire code stuff? Yeah, that's super not happening here.
You have 100 bits. Wait, what? No, I got that wrong. CHER 100.
End of line.
Ben, thank you for the 100 bits. Just visualize how you get out and wow. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but that would be the only other option. So, all right. But it wouldn't be technically impossible. Just really, really bad. Gonna start editing, uploading Office once you get fiber? No, I'm not. I don't want to ever do that. Fire escape? No, just don't start a fire. Easy. If you can crawl out a window, it's considered an exit. Nope. Maybe I should stop talking. I don't want to get the place condemned. Okay, outro. Yay, that's not the outro. That is. Alrighty. Thank you all for being here. it didn't even slightly go how I anticipated today. I clearly have more work to do on this. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it. I was really hoping to add Raspberry Pi support today and figure that out, but I don't know. Maybe I'll take that Raspberry Pi home and I'll tinker with it there. Because yeah, I do want to do that. I think it would be nice, but we'll see. So, if you enjoyed this stream, you may want to follow to be notified when I go live again next. If you want to help support the channel, you can find me on Patreon or get a shirt like this one. But that's going to be it for now, and I will see you next time. What do you want, phone? You're too far away. I'm not looking. All right. Hold on. Printer. Bye. The live one. Oh wait, I forgot. I didn't color grade it. Well, enjoy the gray video.